Hey everybody, welcome to Hey We're Talking. It's Monday, it's fun day. Derek, are you there? You look like you're gone. Are you around?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was,
He had that look in his eye.
100%.
Yeah, because he was thinking about Game of Thrones.
He was just thinking about Game of
Yeah.
Thrones.
He had this intense stare.
There's no reason to monkey around because this episode is this one we're talking about. This would be episode 3. So if you have not watched episode 3, don't listen to the show. We did 2 last week, and then we did episode 1 the week before that. But we just decided on Mondays we're going to talk about Game of Thrones, but not the one that you just saw. We're going to give you a week to digest and talk about it.
Yeah.
So here we are. This is the one I think everybody's been waiting for. Season 8, episode 3.
Oh my gosh.
It's the battle.
Yes.
So, wait, one thing before we start, I do want to say this because I don't want to forget about it. Go over to Numa Coffee, get some coffee, PNEUMA coffee.com. They've got awesome coffee. Derek, what kind of sourced is it? Ethically sourced?
It's ethically sourced.
It's ethically sourced coffee. Chris Bean's a great guy. If you want some coffee,
anybody?
you go to numacoffee.com, PNEUMA coffee.com, put in the coupon code HWT and get you some coffee.
I'm making the coffee.
All right, here we go. We're into Game of Thrones. I'm going to let you guys kind of get going. Bob actually, look, he had his hand up. He's ready to go. So go ahead.
So let me just start off the episode. And the episode started super emotional for me for whatever reason.
Did you cry?
No, but Samuel.
Samwell.
Samwell, yes.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm horrible.
No, it's
with
okay.
names.
We're helping you. Go ahead.
All you see is him with his hands shaking, nervousness.
Yep.
The guy's full of knowledge. The guy is a brain. He's not a warrior.
He's a
we all
lover.
know that.
He's a lover, not a fighter.
He is. He's got a wife. He's got children now, child now, and
He's not married.
He's not. Yeah, they didn't get married.
not officially. But I mean, come on. In those days, they don't always have traditional ceremonies. But he's got a lady.
Oh, they do. They have traditional ceremonies where they kill people out.
Yeah, if you got
That's
the
where
money,
people go to die.
if you got the gold,
You get the red wedding. Yeah.
just to see his hands shaking and his nervousness just, I think, started off the episode so great and so intense. I mean, it just started that way to see him nervous. And obviously you see the first beginning of the episode is everybody just preparing for battle.
Yep.
Everybody knowing that they could die in the next 24
The
hours.
White Walkers are there. The Night King. They've arrived at Winterfell. Just setting the stage.
And
Yeah,
I think
knowing-
everybody actually just thinks they're going to die.
Well, I think you have to go into it with that, saying, hey, there's a chance I'm going to die. I hope I make it out of this. But there is a chance that I'm going to die in this. And you could see it on everyone's face. They went through all the characters and showed their concerns and what they were thinking of and basically just walked through the whole thing. And to me, just the beginning of that episode was the most intense feeling that I've had from a TV show or movie or any of this stuff in a very, very long time.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. And it was silence
Yep.
for a lot of it, too. You know, like the first 10 minutes was just there was no actual dialogue. You heard background chatter, but everyone is just like, getting ready because the dead have arrived. This is years and years of prepping for this moment. The dead have breached the wall and they're about to make a huge attack. And this is the living versus the dead. This is the battle. This is going to determine the future of humanity. Because, the stakes couldn't be higher. And then the battle begins, and it was great. Continue, Bob.
Well, I didn't know I was really going to take it all the way here.
No,
but,
you don't have to.
Oh, you don't have to.
But, yeah, the battle began. If you watched it, you know that they planned for everything. They planned that you were going to have all these. Everybody was lined up. Outside of the castle, you've got all the warriors, all the battlers, everybody that came together, they all came to the north, besides the Lannisters, to battle.
Well, one Lannister.
Well, you've got two.
The terrible Lannister.
You've got two Lannisters there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm saying there's only one that didn't show up because she's a terrible human being.
Well, that's going to be episode 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that plays out. But literally, I mean, beyond what we were talking about, it was, again, more of this tense silence. No talking, no dialogue at all. It was just looking at everybody, looking them in the eyes, everybody on the front lines, all the soldiers standing there. They gave, big wide shots of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And then it began.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, Melisandre, the Red Woman, shows up first, and you see Sir Davos there because remember he learned that she basically killed Stannis's little girl, Shireen. Yep. I think that was her name.
Sacrificed her.
Remember, they sacrificed the girl in fire.
Yeah. So Davos is upset, and so she's like, "You don't need to execute me. I'm gonna die today." And
by dawn tomorrow, I'll be dead. That's what she said.
Yes. So she goes out and does what I like to call the blessing of the swords. Mm-hmm. She has all the Dothraki hold up their swords, and then she casts her spell, and they all get on fire. And I'd like to imagine that maybe one of them forgot to pull it out of his sheath and was like, my leg!
That didn't happen.
But that was a cool piece. So all of a sudden she says her little spell,
mm-hmm.
and then as they're holding it up, the fire starts. And it just continues along all the Dothrakis, all the way along the front lines. So you've got this big wall of flame that these guys are ready. And all of a sudden, they go. They just start cruising along towards the White Walkers. And then what happens, Scott?
You slowly see all of their fires go out. Little by little. Let me bring something up, though, about this whole entire battle, because this is the big beef. I've listened to a number of different things today of people. The big beef is the way this battle was shot was so dark. It was very hard to see what was going on. And
just like a real battle, right?
I guess, but when you're watching something, I mean, the episode was like an hour and 20 minutes. You're watching, and this battle took up a good 85% of that show. And you're sitting here, and I kept trying to do different things to the TV to see it better. And then on top of that, what happened with us, too, because we're streaming it, we have it through Amazon Prime. We have HBO added on. There's only, probably 10 billion people streaming it at the same time. So it was also not the best quality. So then you add in this pure darkness. I mean, it's so hard to see. And I made the stupid mistake of not turning off all the lights in the living room and watching it in the dark. That would have helped the darkness.
Yeah, it would have.
But it was very dark. A lot of people were very irritated by that.
So here's the thing. You're right. I saw a lot on Twitter. I saw a lot all over the place. People complaining that it was too foggy, it was too smoky, it was too dark. They couldn't see. But as soon as my wife and I realized it, we had the TV, the lights off, everything. So it was just us and the TV. Now I have an older TV. It's 10 years old. It's flat screen, all that stuff. But it's an older one.
Yeah.
So it's not as good as the newer ones that have come out. So as soon as we realized that it was so dark and we saw weird pixelation in the top and all this stuff, I paused it. I changed a setting to movie mode on my TV, and we went back to it and hit play, and it was a heck of a lot better.
Yeah.
So that was something that people complained about, but I think if people went and found the proper settings in their TV and had it set up right, it wouldn't be as bad. Yeah. Now I watched it and it was still smoky and foggy, and some of it was hard to see, but that's battle.
Yeah,
I mean, I think part of it was the realistic aspect of it is when individuals are out there fighting, you don't have the visibility.
Yeah. I think Derek said that this morning in a chat. It was the fog of war, basically. It's just like it gave you that experience of, I think because you're not really there, obviously, I can understand why some people were irritated by it. I still enjoyed it. I didn't go, I hate this because I can't see anything. I was just like, man, this is so dark. But Derek, you brought that up when we were talking about it in the chat. You said, hey, this is like, go ahead.
In like a real battle, especially like historical battles, like during the World Wars and Vietnam or whatever, you're gonna have a lot of shooting. You're gonna have a lot of gunpowder, and it's gonna be smoky. There's gonna be explosions. It's gonna be foggy because of that, and it's confusing. It's scary. It's disorienting. So these movies, when they try to simulate the mindset, that point of view, they want to give you the same experience as people that are in the battle.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing that a lot of people don't understand is a lot of this video was shot from what I would consider a point of view, POV perspective.
Yeah.
So we get to see it all going on, but we're looking through somebody else's eyes, basically. And it's foggy and it's snowy and it's all messed up because that's what the characters that we're watching are seeing. Yeah. So when you're fighting something, you can't see everything because all of a sudden the Night King decided, yes, we're going to have a snowstorm. Boom. Mm-hmm. Snowstorm occurred.
Yep. I guess the thing too, if you've ever seen World War Z, the movie World War Z with Brad Pitt, there was a lot of that feel to the dead. Now, if you're not a person that watches Game of Thrones, you won't understand this, but basically the Night King, anyone he kills, he can raise them from the dead and they become part of his army. And there's like bazillions of them. If things had not gone the way that they went in that episode, there would have been no way for these people to ever defeat all of these dead. There would have been no way for them to win the war.
And as it went on, I'm just like, how are they going to win this?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they talked about that in the previous episode. They figured out that if we kill the Night King, everything he controls will fall, that it will die.
Yep.
So that was the plan. We're going, and Bran's like, the Night King's after me. And so the battle plan was pretty much outlined in a very general way earlier in the season. We're going to separate Bran. They're going to put him in the Godswood or the Weirwood or whatever you want to call it. Mm-hmm. And that will bring the Night King's attention to him, and then maybe they can do something to stop the Night King while the rest of the people, while the Dothraki, the Unsullied, and all the other armies are fighting against like the normal White Walkers. So that was the plan. And so, you had Melisandre come out. She blessed all the Dothraki swords, and they go. And quite frankly, it was not very effective.
No, that was scary. Over pretty quick.
And it was extremely scary because we all saw this wall of flames run towards the White Walkers that we couldn't see.
Yeah.
They were just in the darkness. We saw this wall of flame run towards them, and Dany and Jon were everybody was watching it from the top of the castle, and all of a sudden, just these flames started dissipating. Gone. Yep. And then you saw a perspective from the front line that just saw a few flames left, and they all started disappearing. And then a solo horse without a rider came back, and then slowly people started retreating.
And then the one guy, Derek, you know his name. The guy who, what's his name?
Jorah Mormont.
Yeah, Jorah. Jorah was like basically the only person who came back because he went with the Dothraki and he came back. So listen, I'm sitting here looking at how much time we're spending on this. Here's what we need to do now at this point. We need to like throw out our favorite moments of this episode one at a time because we're running out of time. Go ahead.
Well,
Derek.
we can. I was just going to say we can super fast forward this. So basically the walkers destroyed the front lines. They breached the wall. They got into the castle. There was just crap going on everywhere. They actually got down underneath into not the bunker, but
the people in the crypt came alive. They didn't come in there. The people that were in the crypt came alive. The dead people
that were in the crypt came alive. So, I mean, honestly, there was just pure chaos. Dragons flying all around, having trouble with the snow. Then the flame dead dragon came about. And, I mean, there was just this...
You're simplifying this so much.
No,
I'm trying to
correct.
fast forward.
Yeah, the White Walkers, they basically overwhelmed the forces. They had that trench that they set on fire, which stopped some of them, but then they started
made themselves
So they just kept going in. They kept going in. They got into the castle. People are dying. And, so we know that the only way this is going to be stopped is if the Night King dies.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's what we have, the battle, and then we have the Night King. So we have all the...
You guys are making me laugh, man.
Trying to fast forward this
I know, but I have specific things that I want to hear you guys. I know you have a special moment in your mind, so I want to hear what it is. Everyone knows what the major moment is, but what are some things that happened that you really enjoyed?
I loved little Lyanna Mormont.
Exactly.
Little girl from Bear Island. The little girl who's like, I will fight for my people.
Yep.
And she gets picked up by the zombie giant, the White Walker giant.
Zombie troll.
Yeah, he picks her up and starts squeezing her to death.
Yep.
And in her final moments, like, she lunges forward with a dragon glass dagger, stabs this giant in the eye, and he dies, and they die together. I mean, they gave her like a big, awesome
great
death.
Yeah, that was great. And then, of course, Bob, I'll let you say yours, because I might have the same one, because I was going to say the same thing Derek said. Go ahead. What was your favorite moment?
I mean, mine's the ending piece.
Yeah,
so
but that's why I said we'll say that one, but what's one that you liked besides that? What else?
That's my favorite piece because there's so much into it. So go ahead and throw yours out there.
Okay, so here's the thing. Theon, when he was protecting Bran, was really cool. It was he was just going after all these walkers, and he was doing a great job. And then it just gets to the point where, it's basically over. The Night King shows up, and Theon just runs at him because he's like, I'm going to take this thing out. And, of course, he gets... impaled.
And but Bran he gives him his moment of redemption. He's like, hey, you're a good man.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
and he said, ultimately your goal was to come home.
Yep. It
and,
was good.
And that
was really good. And the music, the score in that part was unbelievably awesome. The music was great. So that's one of them. Bob, go ahead. We'll let you have all the glory. Go ahead.
No, it's not about the glory because I don't get it.
No, I'm just saying. Go ahead.
So my favorite piece was just the ending of it is in what nobody expected to happen, I guess you could say. So a lot of people thought, and I read all the conspiracy theorist stuff. I read the Reddit, not all the Reddit posts, but all the articles and all this stuff to see what people think. But everybody really thought that Jon Snow was going to be the guy to kill the Night King, to be the ultimate hero, all that stuff. And it was the exact opposite. It was the girl that...
Well, tell everybody what happened with Jon Snow when he tried to do it.
Well, Jon Snow was running after the Night King.
Right.
And the Night King kind of looks back, and he just decides, you know what? I'm going to raise all these dead people around me, and I don't have to worry about this Jon Snow guy.
Yep.
So every dead person from the battle...
So basically everybody that was on his team, by the way.
Yes. Wind up becoming, White Walkers, and we're going to go in and attack him. But, my favorite piece of it was just the fact that Arya, a girl who's throughout since season 3, has basically been building into this moment.
Yeah.
She's been training since season 3 to be a warrior, to learn how to fight. If you guys remember, she was a girl that didn't know how to swing a sword, who didn't know anything. She wound up with that little needle sword and she was made fun of, and she didn't have a clue.
Beep, bop, 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 bop. Hold on, Derek. You're breaking up a little bit.
Sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah, that was weird. Sounded like a ghost. I didn't know where that came from.
Sorry. But Bob, you're wrong. She's been training for this since the very first episode. The very first.
Well, she's always been training, but actually getting serious about it and doing something.
Yeah, come on, Derek. It wasn't until season 3 that she got serious.
No, she was in season 1. Remember Ned Stark, her dad, when he was still alive, got that dude from Bravos, her dance master, Sirio Farrell, teaching her how to fight.
Well,
okay, so what happens, Bob?
So the Night King is standing there in front of Bran and basically reaching back, getting ready to grab his ice sword and kill Bran or something, and all of a sudden Arya comes out of nowhere.
I know. I love how she's just flying through the darkness.
Nobody else recognized her except, nobody else saw her.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, boom, the sixth sense of the Night King comes in. He turns around and just grabs her by the neck and just starts choking her. And her being smart, she drops the dagger out of one hand, grabs it with another, and just stabs him right in between his armor. And boom. It's all over.
Dead.
But the piece that gets me out of all of it is because with all these conspiracy theories and Reddit theories and all this stuff, a lot of people thought that Bran was directly connected with the Night King, like they were one and the same. So if the Night King died, then Bran would die. But all that got thrown out the door, and there's still this huge mystery about why Bran was basically sitting there having a epileptic seizure the whole battle while everybody else was fighting.
Not to mention, Bran he could have done all sorts of stuff, and what does he do? He puts his stupid eyes up into his head and just goes into a bunch of ravens and flies around. It's like...
I'm pretty sure we'll learn more about that.
I sure hope so.
And by the way, a lot of people were concerned about Arya because they're like, yeah, sure, she's good in 1-to-1 combat, but is she good as a soldier? Would she be good in a battle? We learned absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Hold on. Yes. She did. She nailed it. She killed it. Literally. She killed it.
Once she got a bow or a staff in her hand, I mean, she just started destroying these things immediately.
There were some moments, though, that were dicey for her. Don't forget about that.
Yeah,
I mean, she had some bad moments.
Yeah, she got hit in the head. It was cool. I mean, there was a lot of great moments.
Yeah.
With her in the show, she saved the Hound. Remember, she shot an arrow at a walker that was about to get the Hound.
And again, in this episode,
and then
the Hound kind of
her later.
But
in
again,
the episode as well.
The Hound had another moment in this episode where he was like, and just kind of froze up again. He's very weird.
So let me give you all the rests in peace. Rest in peace. All right, rest in peace. Lyanna Mormont. We already saw it. We already mentioned her. Rest in peace, Ed. Dolorous Ed, head of the Night's Watch.
Yep.
He died saving Sam. Rest in peace.
Oh gosh! No, stop. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Rest in peace, Jorah Mormont died saving Daenerys. Rest in peace, Theon died saving Bran. And who else? Rest in peace. Who else did we miss?
I don't know. I mean, a bunch of people we don't know.
Yes.
George, the guy that washes the dishes over at John's place, he died. He was an extra, but he died.
Okay, and remarkably, somehow, none of the really main characters died. And I mean, listen, Jaime Lannister and Brienne. Okay, you had another one?
Melisandre, of course, she dies at the very end. And then Beric Dondarrion, the guy with the flaming sword and the eye patch. He died. But no, look, I think a lot more of the main major characters are going to die. Yeah, in the bigger battle against Cersei. But Jorah Mormont is, Theon, the Red Woman. Are we going to say that these aren't major characters?
They're all major.
They're medium.
Characters. Yeah, but I mean, they've all played a major role in everything. So I mean, they're all important characters to the whole story. So we expected them to die, and we know more are going to die. That's just the way this story's going to play out. Yeah. Now the next step is, hey, let's all recover. Let's put Band-Aids and some Neosporin on.
Let's take the 100 people we have left and go take on a giant army in, what's the name of the place, Derek?
King's Landing.
There you go.
And then you've got the whole Jaime thing. What is he going to do? There's so much to cover in this last
You know who we never
3
saw?
episodes.
We don't know if he's alive, but I'm assuming he's alive because we never saw him. Is Tormund?
We saw him.
Where?
He's still alive.
Are you sure?
I saw him. He was fighting.
No, at the end though, they kind of went around and saw different. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, he was shown fighting during the episode. I don't know if he's there at the end, but he was.
When-
Well,
he was
the
in
last we
episode.
saw Sam was being impaled by a whole bunch of these walkers as Jon Snow looked back at him,
That's
and
what
he
I'm
just
saying.
knew he had
There's
to
some
get the
people
brand.
we don't
So
know if they died or not.
I think if they were going to kill them off, they'd show them.
I'm sure they
I mean,
would.
that's part of it. So,
But I'm just
they're
saying.
still around.
I'm excited for next week, guys.
Oh gosh, I can't wait.
What do you guys think's going to happen?
I think more people are gonna. You got me, you jerk. All right, fresh pots and whatever.
We'll see you on Wednesday.